Well, I hope the earlier children's video that I sent with that song on from All Souls Langham Place worked. My thoughts were, if they fill the church with things like this, then I'll send it along for us to use. I've watched millions this morning. I'm really quite fed up with them now, so I hope that's worked well. Anyway, we're looking at the sermon. Give her something to eat. Give her something to eat. Jesus says to the girl, Jairus' daughter, that he's just brought back to life. And I think this is really quite a laughable thing, that he's done such a miraculous thing, and then he's concerned that the girl's hungry. I think it's Jesus' way in the parable, in the story really, of showing us that he's actually bothered, not just over life, over death, but of our discomforts as well. I'm starting to see lots of the Bible stories as parables, and trying to see a message behind the story that we read. I'm hungry. Is the concern there. I sometimes wonder if we misunderstand Jesus. You see, Jesus created the world and the stars. He created life, and risen from that crucified death, he saved us that we can be with God. So he's done all the big stuff. Sometimes I think we're misunderstanding because we think he's only interested in the big stuff, the big projects of life. But I think to get it right, we need to realise that Jesus is very much involved, concerned with the small time stuff as well. I think Jesus just longs to hang out with us on a daily level. He'd like to walk down to the village shop with us to get the bread, just because it's a nice thing to do. Now, Jesus' daughter and the bleeding woman are two impossible miracles. But looking behind the scenes, we have a chap who belongs to the synagogue, and so he's not exactly a noticeable disciple, but he's effectively a disciple from afar, if you like. And then we have the woman. She touches Jesus' hem. She's as if it is an unknown disciple. She obviously believes, but she's not part of the inner core. Both are not exactly centre stage on the biblical scene until we read about them in the Gospels. But they were noticed. Jesus noticed them, even though they weren't part of the 12 or the 72, but more distant. He noticed them. Jesus notices that Jairus' daughter is hungry. He's showing us here that he cares for the normal things in life as well as the major things in life. And so let's remember that the woman comes to him directly. She doesn't go to a disciple and say, "Can you please speak to Jesus about this?" But she touches his hem directly. She has direct access to Jesus. Remember that. And I'd like to remember how it is that Jesus notices the daughter's hunger. It's not somebody else who notices, but Jesus notices, and he asks them to do something about it. It's a mixture of the miraculous and the normal, and in both and in all, we find Jesus is concerned. It speaks to me, asking me, where am I showing love? By being concerned about somebody else's discomfort, about somebody else's hunger. Maybe as Christians, we are keen to promote a conversion experience, to bring people to become Christians, when maybe we should be also involved in caring that people are having a good life and are comfortable. As well as, after the other week's service, I was in the front of church, and 3 chaps arrived at church seeking their ancestor's grave. But we'd locked up by then, and everybody had left except me and a couple of others, and so it was not possible to be hospitable to them. But I could share some concern with them and talk to them about what they wanted and what they were seeking. I tried to show that Jesus, if he was in that place, would be concerned. And so I started wondering then that maybe offering the gentlest of love and care, that in that we don't see earth-shattering revelations and miracles, but maybe we do see actually the start of a chain of events that does lead to those things, that leads to those spiritual breakthroughs. I particularly like the way that Jesus, after the woman's been healed, He turns and he looks for her. He's more bothered about her personally than just her healing. And then when I get to this stage, I always ask myself that how do I get myself into a place where I can see, where I can myself feel, and then I can love. And the answer I've come to after thinking this through is prayer, as daft and simple as it sounds. The downside with prayer, it's been given a fairly poor press. People see it as not being very cool. In fact, they see it as fairly miserable and sad. And to make it worse, I've often heard many of the people who hold lofty positions say that prayer is very hard. It's not. Prayer is really easy. Yes, we can look into the fancy forms of prayer. We can look into the histories. We can look and we can pull out the Greek words and see what they would have understood. But that doesn't make my normal daily or hourly prayer life hard. Prayer life at that level I have and I experience, and you do as well. That is easy and it's simple. What matters is that we keep it simple, we keep it real, and we keep it going. God created prayer so that we could have a close relationship with him. He's not bothered about the protocol and the structure, not even the language that we use. He's bothered about us. He's actually bothered about me and you. He turns from whatever he's doing and he looks back to me. He looks to you. And he's concerned about if I'm hungry or if I'm thirsty. And he's concerned that as I type this video, my backside's going numb. I think that's maybe the level of concern that we need to have for those around us. Concerned about the small things. I stop and remember to care for those I'm praying for. When I pray, it's as if God says, oh, that's a good point. We'll remember them when we meet them next time. Good point. Let's do this or do that for them. Prayer. Praying for someone, for some things, for events around the world seems to bring about a change. Somebody said prayer brings coincidences, but without prayer, the coincidences don't seem to happen. It also brings physical caring. Prayer does get answers and does get things done. People are changed by prayer. Now, I've dug around online and I found the following that I'm going to speak about very shortly for each one of us to try. Now, these are all prayer apps or prayer websites that offer prayer support, and they are surprisingly good. It's not about which one is best, but really for me, which one you feel to like the best. What is their style that you prefer? And so let's go. 24/7 prayer, that's 24/7 prayer website. Also 24/7 prayer course. Now both I and Justin recommend Pete Greig's book about prayer, How to Pray by Pete Greig. The 24/7 prayer material and this book kind of work together. Now from this stable there is also Lectio, that's Lectio, Lectio 365 AM or PM. Excellent stuff. Remembering also there's a C.of.E. Church of England daily prayer app. There's chpublishing.co.uk/apps. That's Church of England publishing apps. There's quite a number on there. Remember also there are seasonal prayer apps. Live Lent for Lent, Thy Kingdom Come for Ascension to Pentecost. Now, if you're not online and you want to find out what the Church of England can offer you, then give them a ring on 020 7898 1000. That's 020 7898 1000. Also remember, there's YouVersion that have daily prayers, daily readings, daily teachings. They have lots of videos and a host of other things. And there's some good kiddie material in there as well. Remember that many of these others have kiddie apps and kiddie videos as well. There's more out there, but you're going to get bored if I carry on. So I'm going to finish. And so to summarize, I've tried to show how I've seen that Jesus, yes, interested in the major big things in life, but also is interested in the smaller things of life as well. He's interested in the caring about our day-to-day concerns that we have and other people have. And that caring becomes, or can become, prayer. I'm particularly realising that he's concerned because he's longing to have a decent relationship with me and with you and with all of us. And that prayer is chatting with God along life's way. Chatting is easy, and chatting with God is prayer, and so prayer must be easy. I've also realised that if Jesus is caring and hanging out with me and with you, then he's keen to do that with the good folk that we live amongst and around. And that we need to care for them as he would as well. Look out for them as he would. Pray for them as he would. Be concerned for them, even at a very seemingly superficial and small level. Care for them and pray for them because he cares, and so we must do also. And so it's down to prayer. Now I use Lectio 365 AM every morning. It's very, very good. And I know someone who loves Lectio 365 PM just before they go to sleep. And she says it's brilliant, and she's actually young. I'll let you look into the other online prayer support that I've mentioned, and please feed back to us, maybe via the church office admin, onto the next newsletter, how you found these things going. If you're not online, then ask somebody to dig around for you and find some phone numbers that you can ring up, or maybe some other things, because I know paper versions are available for some things. But not all. And so let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for loving me enough to care and to look back for me. For the major things in life and the world and the minuscules in life actually bother me and all of us here. Help me to feel your caring love and for me to actually care for others with your love. Help me in my prayer life to be much closer to you, that we can share these concerns together, can share time together, and being closer, love a more fulfilling life and bring other people your love and their fulfillment also in you. Amen. Thank you.